to Anita on the Rail. Kind of a bittersweet show because this is our last show to handicap and preview the Saratoga racing season. It's been a fun 7 weeks, and we want to give a big shout out to ABR, America's Best Racing, your best spot to go check out any and all horse racing information. Also, Henry Street Tap Room and Kindred in Saratoga. We broadcasted from Kindred last week. It was great to be there. Owner Ryan was fantastic. So really appreciate them coming on board and being sponsors any and every time you go up to Saratoga or down, depending on where you're traveling from. You need to stop in. Kindred, stellar wine list, outstanding handcrafted cocktails, wood-fired kitchen, and just the ambiance is awesome. Again, if you tuned into our show last week, you saw just how swanky and how really electric that location is. And then Henry Street Tap Room, best beer list in Saratoga. And they're right next to each other on Henry Street. So make sure you check them out. And then, of course, we want to give a big shout out to New York Thoroughbred Breeders, Inc. It's been a fun season. They've been sponsoring us as well, the official authorized membership organization of the thoroughbred breeding industry in New York State. So if you are interested in getting in and owning a piece of one of these beautiful animals, nothing wrong. In fact, I highly recommend you look into some of the New York breeders in this Northeast area because these horses are just tremendous. I have a filly that is New York bred with Final Furlong, and she almost won on Thursday, but nonetheless, it is just really, really an awesome experience. nytbreeders.org/membership to find out more. So we're going to end this season pretty strong because we're going to break down not one, but 2 races. Spinaway that's coming your way on Saturday, and then the Jockey Club Gold Cup with the $1 million purse. Unbelievable. So without further ado, let's bring in our handicapper. Ryan Anderson joins us from ABR. All right, let's welcome in Ryan Anderson. You see him all over ABR, America's Best Racing, joining us. And it is kind of bittersweet, Ryan. This is our last show of the Saratoga racing season. It's been a fun 7 weeks with you, that's for sure. But let's talk about what is coming up on Saturday, and that is the Spinaway. It is race number 11. It's on dirt, grade 1, $300,000 purse, 2-year-old filly, 7 furlongs. But probably what's more important is that if you win this, you are in for a berth with the grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile fillies at Del Mar, which of course you're on the left coast, you will be there. There are 10 horses in this race. We won't break all of them down, but let's talk about a few important ones. All right, Mythical, perfect 3-3 record. Tell us what you like about Mythical.
Look, Mythical's very talented. She got a 93 buyer in her second career start. She's undefeated, obviously 3 for 3. I guess off figures, she might have regressed a little bit in that last start, getting an 84, which still pretty much towers over this field. There's only one horse in here that's gotten anywhere close to that, and that's Tommy Joe, who I'm sure we'll speak about in a moment. But, I mean, Mythical is far and away the horse to beat. She's going to be a very heavy favorite. I just wonder if, as we continue to stretch her out, she had a very dazzling performance in her first start, came back to repeat that in the Tremont Stakes at Saratoga, and then her third start in the Adirondack, she won again in front-running fashion, but I don't know that 7 furlongs is going to be necessarily the best for her. It might be going just a little bit farther than maybe she is best at, so maybe that makes her a little bit vulnerable. And of course, with these 2-year-olds, a lot of them like to be at the front early, so that obviously sets it up for a possible pace duel.
All right, you mentioned Tommy Joe, not just one, but 2 Todd Pletcher horses that are going to be strutting their stuff in this race. What do you like about Tommy Joe?
So Tommy Joe had a really nice professional debut under Johnny Velasquez that day. That race has come back very live, so there's been a couple next out winners. One of them was Tennessee Belle, who finished second in that race. The other was Caradice, who just won the other week here at Saratoga. So a couple runners already have come back to kind of flatter that form of that race. And Tommy Joe won that event. She came from off of it that day. The pace wasn't flying. She didn't come from, way out of the clouds, but she was 4th and about 3 lengths back at the first point. And then she moved into the race really nicely. And she finished professionally. And it shows to me that there's going to be some more in the tank. She's obviously very well bred, being bred and owned by Spendthrift Farm. And Todd Pletcher can bring his 2-year-olds along really, really well. He knows how to manage them. He knows how to not, do anything too early. And again, this one's second career start, so I believe that she can, take a step forward off that 85 buyer. It's the second highest buyer in the field behind Mythical, and I believe this is a very logical upset possibility.
And then, of course, the other Todd Pletcher horse is Steer Clear. Anything you like about this one?
Yeah, this one's certainly interesting. So the maiden race she came out of, she is still a maiden. She finished second on debut to the horse who drew the one post in this race, Ornelia. Interesting thing about Steer Clear is that she was up on the pace that day of a very hot and contested pace, and that pace eventually fell apart. The winner, Ornelia, came from 10th, and then the third place finisher came from 7th. The fourth place finisher was 4th. And then, so the pace completely melted down. She held on to still get second in that event, which I think shows a lot of determination and a lot of just gameness and grit that you like to see from a racehorse. She is cross-entered into the second race on Friday, which is a 2-year-old maiden special weight event. I'm not sure which one she's going to go in, but if she does show up here, she's definitely going to be a pace presence, and she could set it up for her stablemate, and also owned by Spendthrift Farm, could set it up for Tommy Joe.
All right, as always, Ryan, I always like to say, take me to the window, my friend. How are you wagering this one?
Yeah, this very competitive 2-year-old event. I'm just going to put a win bet on Tommy Joe. I think the price is going to be there because all the money's going to be on Mythical. Again, Mythical's a very talented filly, but I want to go with the horse with a little bit of upside where maybe we haven't seen quite the best, and I think this is a horse that eventually is going to love 2 turns, but I think 7 furlongs is going to be no issue, so I'm going to go with Tommy Joe as my win bet in the Grade 1 Spinaway.
I love it. Now, really interesting, there is a big race coming your way Sunday at Saratoga. It is the Jockey Club Gold Cup. It is a Grade 1, $1 million purse. Are you kidding me? 1 1/4 mile. Post time is at 11:20 a.m., so you're going to have to get yourself up bright and early out there on the West Coast, Ryan, to watch this one. Fox, you're going to be able to watch it on Fox, which is going to be exciting. Another win and you're in, berth for the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Classic in November, of course, over on your side of the country at Del Mar. So with that being said, let's talk about the horse that I think a lot of people have fallen in love with this season, and that's Sierra Leone, right? Last year's Breeders' Cup Classic winner and a Chad Brown horse. What do you like about this one?
Look, Sierra Leone has grown up a lot. His 3-year-old season, he was goofy. Top to bottom that entire year, he was a little bit of a goofball. He had the issue with kind of lugging in. They had to kind of find the right equipment for him. They changed the bits a handful of times. They changed just about everything to try and get him to run straight. I think he's finally just kind of matured and he's, learned what his job is. He doesn't lug in anymore. He's not a goofball, and he is a monster of a horse. He has a huge stride. He loves the 1.25 mile distance. He managed to win the 1 1/8 Whitney last time out, which I don't think is going to be his. It's definitely not his favorite distance. He won that just on class alone. He's done really well in all of his appearances so far. He has excuses in the race at Fairgrounds, which was his comeback race where he wasn't able to finish that race off. It was won by a wire-to-wire winner. Came back to finish a close second at Churchill Downs in the Stephen Foster behind Mindframe, who got a really nice trip that day, and then came and found himself in the winner's circle, and rightfully so, in the Grade 1 Whitney last time out. Now he gets that 1.25 mile, that classic distance for this win and you're in event for the Breeders' Cup Classic. I think Sierra Leone has all the makings of another horse. He's not going to be a big price, but he is a horse that really is coming into his own. I expect another top performance here, and then I'm for sure looking forward to seeing him out here west in the Breeders' Cup Classic, assuming everything goes right.
Some other horses that could win this race, Mindframe, a Todd Pletcher horse. Irad Ortiz is going to be on him as well. Your thoughts on Mindframe?
Yeah, Mindframe, one of 2 Rapoli runners who are going to be entered in 1.25 mile races on different coasts. Fierceness is going to be out west in the Pacific Classic. Obviously looking forward to that showdown with Nisos and journalism. Mindframe sticks out east, going in the Jockey Club Gold Cup. And this is a horse where I'm really interested to see how he does at a 1.25 mile. He hasn't faced this test since last year in the Belmont Stakes, where he was a little bit goofy. I think that he has all the talent in the world. When he lost to Dornoch last year in the Belmont Stakes, that was the first time he was shown the crop, and he veered out, and he was green, and he was really he's been a bit of a head case, much like Sierra Leone, much like a lot of these 3-year-old colts. I think he's really matured, and I think he's a much better racehorse now, and he kind of has his mind on business. He's certainly a huge threat to win this one. I'm very curious to see what his price goes off at. I don't want to take him at too short of a price, but he is a talented horse, and if he gets the 10 furlongs, he's going to be a major player in this classic division.
White Abario is another horse, fourth in the Whitney Stakes, a rematch with Sierra Leone. What can you tell us about this one?
Yeah, he's a bit of a quirky horse. He doesn't always fire his best shot, but when he fires his best shot like he did earlier this year in the Pegasus Stakes, I mean, he is lights out. He's one of the best horses on the grounds. When he fires his A-plus effort, it's just a matter of if you're going to get that A-plus effort or not. I'm leaning towards no in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, but, I mean, I've been wrong before.
And then Highland Falls, I think another horse that we need to pay attention to as well heading into Sunday.
Yeah, Highland Falls, one of the candidates for Ride of the Year last year by Flavien Prat in this race, took it to Arthur's Ride early, going this 1.25 miles, put him out of his game, but more importantly, put everybody else in chase mode. Flavien gave a masterclass of a ride last year on Highland Falls. He's not going to be on this year. He's going to be riding Sierra Leone, I believe. But Highland Falls is another very talented horse who could certainly surprise at a price, and he just finished second in the Whitney as well, showing a bit of a new kind of pace tactic and running style in there. So I think Highland Falls certainly going to be worthy of a bet if you like him.
All right, so take us to the window on this Sunday race. How are you betting it?
Yeah, again, Sierra Leone, I think he's kind of the man amongst boys once again. I think he's kind of come into his own. Hope I don't get too short of a price on him, but I'll just put a nice easy win bet on Sierra.
All right, before we let you go, as always, we've been talking about New York bred horses and New York bred races because New York Thoroughbred Breeders, Inc., a big sponsor of our show this season. And of course, I have part ownership in a wonderful filly named K Cup. Almost won this past Thursday, did not, but she ran a great race. For more information, nytbreeders.org. Check them out. Nothing more fun than having a percentage in a horse, and especially a New York bred horse here in the Northeast. With that being said, on Saturday, race number 9, a New York bred race. Do you, from what I understand, you have a horse that you like in this one?
Yeah, so race number 9, actually not a New York bred race, but there is a New York bred in there. That is the number 4, Shoot It True for Wesley Ward. If you think New York bred start with an advantage, if you imagine the advantage if you get a turf sprinter in the barn of Wesley Ward, one of the best turf sprinters in the country, if not the best. Won last time versus a state bred non-2 other than company. This is an open allowance non-winners of 1 other than. So this is a horse that has won 3 races in her career, where a lot of the others haven't won more than 1, sometimes not more than 2. So has that ability to get, into the winner circle, which you like to see, is the winning type. This is the second race of this one's kind of form cycle here. Came out of that last race, which was a win here at Saratoga, going this 5.5 furlong distance that this race will be run at. Was able to sit just off the pace, took over at the top of the lane really nicely, and powered home to a decisive victory. Since then, has come back to work out twice, both over the Saratoga turf course. Both were absolutely blazing works. Both were bullets. One was 4 furlongs in 47 seconds. The next one was 5 furlongs in 59 seconds. Both of those are very, very strong works over the Saratoga turf course. Both were the best of their groups that went that day. I think Shoot It True is going to take an even bigger step up in her next performance here on Saturday. So Shoot It True, I think, is a New York bred that is absolutely going to wipe the floor with the open competition that she's facing. And
again, that is race 9 on Saturday. Like I said, Ryan, kind of bittersweet. This is our last show. So just out of curiosity, this season, it's been an exciting one up in Saratoga. What has been the one horse or the one race or the one storyline that has stood out to you the most, that when you look back on this horse racing season, that's what you're going to remember?
Well, I think my personal favorite day of coming on to do this show was when we talked about the Sword Dancer Stakes, because I was able to give out a winner in El Cordobes. Flavien Prat and Godolphin teamed up that day at 4-1 to win. So that was nice for me. And then Fiddle Like Coyote won the nightcap as a New York bred in a turf route. So that was in the same show. So that's probably my personal highlight. But I think the storyline of Saratoga is the jockeys race. You have the two Ortiz brothers, Irad and Jose, battling it out head-to-head at Saratoga for one final week to see who can come out on top. I believe they're either tied or within one win of each other. They're both over 50. They have been putting on an absolute clinic out there among everybody else. So they're obviously two world-class riders. In the past 10 years, there's only been one jockey, and that's Luis Saez, to win the riding title that doesn't have the last name Ortiz. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they kind of throw it down for one last week. But those are probably the two main highlights of this Saratoga summer for me.
I'll tell you what, some good genetics in that family for sure.
No doubt.
Ryan, really do appreciate you, as well as America's Best Racing, joining us this season, breaking down each and every Saturday's races and, of course, the excitement. Really do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll be back in action soon with some more races coming our way in November and December. I'll see you then.
I certainly hope so. Thanks, Anita. This was fun.
NYTV membership is your inside track to the ultimate New York thoroughbred racing experience. Free race day entrance to Belmont, Saratoga, Aqueduct, and Finger Lakes. A liaison with NYS Breeding and Development Fund. A voice in Albany working with legislators to help support the New York breeding and racing industries. Along with tons of member benefits, discounts on services and publications, educational programs, and so much more. Join today at nytbreeders.org/membership.
All right, I want to take a moment to give a huge shout out to our sponsors, our advertisers for Anita on the Rail. One is Kindred, great flatbread night at Kindred on Wednesdays. Unique flatbread they offer with a discount, stellar wine list, outstanding handcrafted cocktails. Their food is amazing. The chef creates every dish from scratch. I'm telling you, this is one of the best places to visit when you're up in Saratoga. New York style ambiance, outside patio, terrific staff, and then right next door, Henry Street Tap Room, best beer list in Saratoga. High-end comfort food, terrific staff. This has been a Saratoga staple since 2012. They as well have an outdoor patio. The weather up in Saratoga has been just magnificent. And is expected to be throughout the month of August. They've got a great cheese list, nothing like a little malt and mold together, and dollar oysters every Tuesday. So check out Kindred as well as Henry Street Tap Room and New York Thoroughbred Breeders, Inc., the official authorized membership organization of the thoroughbred breeding industry in New York State. No better time to breed in New York. With the current strength of New York bred programs, including equal purses for New York breds and open company horses on the NYRA circuit, starting with the New York bred 2-year-olds in 2026. For more information, including exclusive membership benefits and discounts for being an NYTB member, please visit nytbreeders.org/memberships. Also, they've got a lot of really great events coming your way. The New York Bred pre-sales barbecue on Thursday, August 7th, and the sale August 10th through 11th, and also the track VIP experience day on Friday, August 8th. For all this and more information in regard to the events that they have coming your way, go to nytbreeders.org/events. All right, again, I want to thank Ryan for joining us. Also, Mark DiLorenzo from Giddy Up Bets has been a great guest with us throughout the racing season, so want to give him a big shout out. America's Best Racing, Henry Street Tap Room, Kindred, both locations up in Saratoga, New York Thoroughbred Breeders, Inc. It has been a really exciting season. We want to thank you guys as well. All our viewers, all our listeners, subscribing, watching, commenting, following us throughout the last 7 weeks, because again, it's been really, really an exciting season up in Saratoga. But we have more horse racing preview shows coming your way in the next few months. So stay tuned, keep an eye out for us, and we'll see you then.